One small step will not change your life. That is true. If you read one page of a book today, your English will not suddenly become perfect tomorrow. If you take one walk today, your body will not suddenly become strong and healthy tomorrow. If you drink one glass of water, you will not suddenly be full of energy. A single action, by itself, is not enough to create a big transformation. But here is the secret: many small steps, taken again and again, can change everything. The change is slow at first. You will not see big results in one day, 1 week, or even 1 month. But like a seed growing into a tree, the small actions you take will grow into something bigger than you can imagine. Think about how you learned to walk as a baby. You didn't start by running fast. You started with one shaky step. Then another. Then another. Over time, you became stronger, faster, and more confident. It was the same with learning to write, learning to cook, or learning to ride a bike. You didn't do it all at once, you did it one small step at a time. The big change you dream about, speaking English fluently, starting your own business, playing an instrument, becoming healthier, is waiting for you at the end of many small, repeated actions. The good news is that you do not need to take every step today. You only need to take one step today, then one step tomorrow, then one the next day. When you add them together, they become a path to your dream. It may take time, but every day you move forward. And one day, you will turn around and see how far you have come. I want to tell you a story. It is my story, but it could also be your story. This is a story about feeling lost, feeling tired, and feeling like the goal is too far away. It is a story about trying many times, failing many times, and then finally finding a way that works. It is about learning English, but it could also be about learning anything: cooking, drawing, running, writing, or starting a new business. The lesson is the same: small steps can lead to big changes. When I started, I had nothing special. I wasn't the fastest learner. I didn't have the best memory. I didn't have a lot of money to spend on expensive classes. I didn't have hours and hours every day to study. I also didn't have a perfect plan written by experts. All I had was a dream, a picture in my mind of myself speaking English easily, talking with friends from different countries, traveling without fear, maybe even working abroad. That dream felt exciting, but it also felt far away. At the time, I believed that strong motivation would be enough. I thought, if I feel inspired, I will succeed. But motivation is like the weather: sometimes the sun is shining, sometimes the sky is full of clouds. If you only work on sunny days, you will not get very far. I needed something better, a way to keep going even when I didn't feel like it. What I didn't know yet was that the answer was small, easy, repeatable actions. They don't look impressive at first, but they are the real secret to success. A few years ago, I was stuck. I wanted to speak English well. I dreamed of traveling to other countries, making friends from all over the world, and feeling confident in conversations. I imagined myself walking in a busy street market in London, ordering coffee in New York, or talking with people at an international event in Singapore. These images made me feel excited, but they also made me feel small. The distance between my reality and my dream felt huge. My reality was this: I could only understand slow, simple English. I often forgot words when I tried to speak. I needed subtitles for almost every video. When I listened to fast conversations, it sounded like one long noise. Every time I tried to start learning seriously, I felt tired after a few days. I looked at the big goal, and it seemed impossible. I thought, how can I ever get there? It will take years. I compared myself to other people who spoke fluently. They spoke quickly. They understood everything. They used big, complicated words. I felt like I was standing at the bottom of a mountain, and they were already at the top, looking down at me. Sometimes, this feeling made me stop before I even began. I thought maybe I just wasn't talented enough. I didn't realize then that the problem wasn't me, the problem was how I was trying to climb that mountain. At first, I tried to study English in a big way. I bought thick books with hundreds of pages. I downloaded many apps that promised fast results. I watched long videos made by native speakers, thinking I would understand everything. On the first day, I studied for hours. I felt strong, excited, and full of energy. I told myself, this time, I will do it. This time, I will succeed. But the next day, my energy was lower. I could not study as long. I felt tired, and my mind did not focus. I missed one day of studying, then 2 days, and soon, a whole week. I started to feel guilty. I told myself, I am lazy. I have no discipline. But that was not true. The real problem was that I was trying to do too much at once. It was like trying to run a marathon on the first day of training. My body and my mind were not ready for so much effort. Big, heavy steps may look impressive, but they are hard to repeat. And if you cannot repeat them every day, they will not take you far. Small steps are easier to repeat. They help you build habits that last. When I stopped trying to do everything at once, and instead focused on small, simple actions, I started to feel better. I began to understand that slow and steady wins the race. I learned that success does not come from one big day of study, but from many small days of study. I remember opening my notebook and seeing many plans that never worked. Study 3 hours every day. Learn 100 new words this week. Finish this book in 5 days. These plans sounded good. They made me feel hopeful. But I never finished any of them. They were too big and hard to keep for a long time. I thought about my friend who goes to the gym every January. He trains very hard the first week. He feels pain in his muscles for days. Then he stops going. I realized I was doing the same thing with my English. I was starting too fast, with big goals that were hard to reach. Every time I stopped, I felt worse than before. I felt guilty and disappointed. I started to believe a lie, that I was not good at learning English. But the truth was different. The real problem was that I was trying to jump up the whole staircase at once. Instead of taking one small step, then another, I was trying to jump from the bottom to the top in one move. This was impossible and made me feel like a failure. I had to learn to be patient. To celebrate small progress. To take small steps that I could do every day. Sometimes, I tried to listen to English podcasts or videos for 1 full hour. I thought this was the best way to learn. But after about 20 minutes, my mind became tired. My attention started to wander. I thought about other things, dinner, my phone, my messages. When the podcast finished, I could not remember much. I felt like I wasted my time. I told myself, I'm not good at listening. This is too hard. That thought hurt me. It made me feel stupid and sad. It made me want to stop learning. But later, I learned something important. Even 5 minutes of listening every day is better than nothing. My brain needs time to get used to new sounds and words. It is like building muscles in the gym. No one starts by lifting very heavy weights. You start with small weights, then bigger ones. But I was trying to lift the heaviest weight on the very first day. That was too hard. Small steps and listening helped me improve. Just 5 minutes a day. Then 10. Then 15. Slowly, my ears became stronger. I could understand more and more. I also tried to read English books. At first, I chose a big novel that I loved in my own language. I thought reading it in English would be fun. But the first page was very difficult. There were many new words. I spent a long time looking up words in the dictionary. After only 1 page, I felt tired and frustrated. I did not enjoy the story. Reading felt like hard work, not fun. The next day, I did not want to open the book again. I told myself, maybe reading in English is not for me. I did not understand that the problem was not reading itself. The problem was that I had chosen a book that was too difficult for my level. I had made my step too big. Later, I found easier books and shorter stories. I read one page or one paragraph every day. That was easier and more enjoyable. Small steps in reading helped me build confidence. Writing was also a challenge. At first, I wrote long diary entries every day. It took me more than an hour to finish one. I checked every word in the dictionary. I erased many sentences because I wanted them to be perfect. I finished late at night, feeling tired and unhappy. The next day, I did not write anything. I had used all my energy in one big effort. It was like trying to run 10 kilometers without training first. My mistake was thinking that more is always better. But in reality, a little bit every day is better than a lot once in a while. Later, I started to write just a few sentences each day. I did not worry about mistakes. I focused on practicing regularly. This small step helped me improve my writing and feel proud of my progress. Then, one evening, something small but important happened. I was drinking tea and watching the sunset on my balcony. I looked at my plants. I water them a little every day. I do not give them a bucket of water once a month. And still, they grow slowly but beautifully. They do not grow in one day. They grow over many days, little by little. I asked myself, why don't I learn like my plants grow? That question stayed in my mind. The answer was simple: I could learn in small, easy steps, every day. I just had not tried this way before. This thought made me feel free and hopeful. I didn't need to be perfect. I didn't need to learn everything quickly. I just needed to keep going, one small step at a time. This was my big discovery: big changes start with small steps. Not big jumps or big efforts that you cannot repeat. Just small, easy actions, easy to do, easy to repeat, like drops of water filling a glass slowly. If I could do something small every day, it would grow, just like my plants. This idea made me feel free. I did not need to be perfect or the best student. I only needed to keep going, step by step. For the first time, I saw my dream as a path I could walk, not a mountain I had to climb in one day. This new way gave me hope. It gave me confidence. It gave me a plan I could follow. And it can give you the same. After this discovery, I decided to start very small. I told myself, today, I will listen to English for just 5 minutes. That was all. 5 minutes. I chose a short podcast for beginners and listened carefully. At first, I didn't understand much. Some words were new, and the sentences sounded fast. But I did not stop. I reminded myself that this was just a small step, and I could do it every day. The next day, I listened for 5 minutes again. Each day, I added a little more. Sometimes I listened to music with simple lyrics, other times to short stories or easy conversations. 5 minutes turned into 10. 10 minutes became 15. I did not feel pressure to understand everything. I accepted that some words and sentences would be difficult. This small habit gave me something more important than vocabulary or grammar: it gave me confidence. I knew that I was moving forward, even if slowly. I was not perfect, but I was consistent. This feeling of progress helped me keep going. I also started learning one new English word every day. Just one. I wrote the word on a small card and kept it with me. Sometimes I repeated the word aloud, other times I wrote it in a sentence. I did not try to learn 10 or 20 words at once because I knew I would forget them quickly. One word a day was easy to remember. Over weeks and months, my small word collection grew. I started to use these new words when I spoke or wrote. It was exciting to see my vocabulary grow, little by little. I felt proud of this small but steady progress. Even when I was tired or busy, learning one word did not feel like a big task. This small step made me feel successful every day. Reading was next. I chose a short story with simple words. I read just one page each day. Sometimes it took me a few minutes, other times a little longer. I didn't worry about understanding every word. When I found a word I didn't know, I guessed the meaning from the sentence or checked a dictionary quickly. Then I continued reading. The story became a friend I met every day. It was fun and relaxing, not work. One page a day didn't feel hard, so I kept doing it. Slowly, my reading improved. I could understand more words and sentences. I began to enjoy reading English. This small habit helped me feel closer to my dream. For speaking, I started with small steps too. I talked to myself in English for 1 or 2 minutes each day. I described my day, my feelings, or my plans out loud. I didn't worry about mistakes or perfect pronunciation. I just spoke. This small practice helped me get used to hearing my own voice in English. It made speaking feel less scary. Later, I joined a language group online where I could speak with others. At first, I listened more than I spoke. But because I practiced every day, my confidence grew. I learned to speak slowly, clearly, and with courage. Writing became easier too. I started by writing short sentences every day. I kept a small notebook just for English. Sometimes I wrote about my day, sometimes about my dreams or favorite things. I didn't worry about grammar mistakes at first. My goal was to write every day, even a little. This small habit helped me think in English more often. Over time, I made fewer mistakes and wrote longer texts. Writing was no longer scary. It became a way to express myself and practice my English skills. After a few weeks of small steps, I started to see changes. I could understand simple podcasts better. I remembered more words. Reading became easier and more fun. I felt more confident speaking English, even if I made mistakes. These changes were small, but they were real. They gave me hope and motivation to keep going. I realized that every small step added up. Like drops of water filling a glass, my English skills were growing little by little. This feeling of progress made me happy and proud. It showed me that small steps really do lead to big changes. I also noticed something else: my fear started to disappear. Before, I was afraid to speak English because I worried about making mistakes or sounding silly. But with small, daily practice, I became braver. I learned that mistakes are part of learning. They are not bad, they are signs of progress. I began to enjoy speaking, even if it was just a few words or simple sentences. The small steps helped me build courage and reduce my fear. This was one of the most important changes. Friends and family started to notice my progress too. They said I sounded more confident and understood more English. These small compliments gave me extra motivation. I realized that small, consistent actions are like invisible bricks. You build your skills one brick at a time. You don't see the big wall growing every day, but after weeks and months, it stands tall and strong. This idea made me feel proud of my journey. It was not fast or easy, but it was real. After a few months, my small steps became habits. Listening to English every day, learning one new word, reading a page, speaking for a few minutes, and writing a little became natural parts of my day. These habits gave me structure and discipline without pressure. I no longer felt overwhelmed by big goals. Instead, I focused on small, daily actions that I enjoyed and could keep. This way, my English skills kept growing without stress or fear. Looking back, I am amazed by how far small steps took me. From feeling stuck and tired, I became confident and happy with my English. I traveled to new countries, made friends from different cultures, and enjoyed conversations in English. None of this happened overnight. It happened because I never gave up, because I chose to take one small step after another. Big changes are possible when you are patient and consistent. Your dream is closer than you think. It is waiting for you at the end of many small, simple actions. After many months of small steps, I noticed a big change inside me. I was no longer afraid to speak English. I felt more comfortable when I listened to conversations or watched movies without subtitles. I could understand jokes, songs, and stories better. My vocabulary grew, and my confidence grew even more. I realized that the small actions I took every day were like drops of rain filling a big bucket. At first, the bucket was empty, and I couldn't see any water. But over time, the drops filled the bucket slowly, and now the bucket was full. This was my success. It was not a sudden change but a quiet, steady one. This taught me something important about learning in life. Success does not come from one big event or one big moment. It comes from small, steady actions done every day. When you focus on the small steps, the big change comes naturally. My life changed not only because of English but because of the habits I created. The small steps I took with English helped me believe that I can do many things if I keep trying little by little. I became more patient with myself and others. I started to see that slow progress is still progress. I stopped comparing myself with people who spoke English faster or better. Instead, I focused on my own journey, on my small steps. This change in my mind was as important as the change in my English. When you learn to value small progress, you grow not only your skills but also your strength and happiness. Now, I want to share this lesson with you. If you have a big goal, learning English or anything else, don't be afraid of the distance between where you are now and where you want to be. That distance can feel huge and scary. But you don't have to cross it in one jump. You only need to take one small step today. Then another tomorrow. Then one more the next day. These small steps build your path forward. They build your confidence and your skills. When you take small steps, you create habits that keep you moving. Habits that help you grow slowly but surely. Habits that make the big goal possible. Maybe you feel tired or lost now. Maybe you think your goal is too big or too hard. I have been there too. But remember, small steps are your best friends. They are easy to do. They don't need much time or energy. 5 minutes, one new word, one page of reading, a short conversation, these are all small steps. You can take them every day. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be fast. You only have to keep going. One small step after another. The important thing is to be consistent. To make small steps part of your daily life. If you don't know where to start, start with listening. Listen to English for 5 minutes today. It can be music, a podcast, or a video with simple English. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just listen. Tomorrow, listen again. Then try to learn one new word from what you heard. Write it down. Use it in a sentence. Then read a short story or a few sentences in English. Speak out loud for a minute or two. Write a small text. These small actions add up. They become your daily routine. They become your way to learn without pressure or fear. Sometimes, you may feel the progress is too slow. You may wonder if all these small steps really matter. The answer is yes. They matter a lot. Imagine planting a tree. You water it a little every day. At first, the tree is small and you don't see much change. But if you stop watering, the tree will not grow. If you keep watering, the tree will grow slowly but surely. After months and years, it will be big and strong. Your learning is like this tree. Small steps are the water. They help your skills grow. I want you to believe in yourself and your small steps. You are stronger than you think. You are capable of amazing things if you keep trying. The journey may be long, but every step counts. You don't need to be perfect or fast. You only need to start. Start today. Start now. Take your first small step. It may be listening to a song, learning a new word, reading one sentence, or speaking out loud for 1 minute. That step is the beginning of your big change. Remember, small steps lead to big changes. They build your skills, your confidence, and your courage. They help you grow inside and outside. Every day you take a small step, you are moving closer to your dream. Your dream is possible. It is waiting for you. Don't wait for a big moment or a perfect time. The perfect time is now. The perfect step is the small step you can take today. So, what will you do today? Will you listen for 5 minutes? Learn one new word? Read one page? Speak for a minute? Write a few sentences? Don't wait for tomorrow or next week. Start with one small step today. Keep going every day. And one day, you will look back and be amazed at how far you have come. Your big change will be your story, a story of patience, courage, and small steps that created something wonderful. Your story will inspire others too.